I didn't film me priming this last night, but it wasn't overly exciting. I just wanted to get the primer on so I could let it dry overnight and get this done today. Get dust everywhere. This side was fine, it's that side that was all smashed up, but we can do it all. And for this, I don't know if I'm going to put like spray paint on it. It's just like a base and then put my flake on top in the clear, or if we're going to go buy like actual base coat. I think I'll just put spray paint. It's cheaper and you're not really going to see it anyway, so it doesn't really matter. It's a golf cart, so who cares? This is already way more work than I wanted to do to it, but one of those things when you're painting, you might as well just do it. Do it if you're doing it. You're not really going to see any of this, so do bare minimum. Alright, so here's the back, all primed, sanded, pretty good. I didn't really care back here because that's all getting covered up by those plastic pieces. I didn't care when I cut that out because it's getting covered up and it's a golf cart. Come with me while I show you my paint booth. That's where I paint those parts, and then I paint these ones over here. Over here in the dirt.
You have a bottle for pickup.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, bye. 2 phone calls so far when I'm painting. Okay, so here they are. So you got the spray paint for the first coat, second coat being the clear and flake. It was mostly silver and flake with a little bit of gold. And then 2 or 3 coats of clear on top of that. Okay, so we got this looking pretty good. And at first glance, you'd think it's done, but here, I'll show you. As soon as you touch it with sandpaper, you can see all like the highs and lows. So that's how rough the surface is. So we got to get it all like see, even that's not there yet. We got to get it all down so it's all, for the most part, I'd say 90% flat. I'd say something like that. Anyway, this entire thing needs the amount of work that I just put into this before we even start with the airbrushing. I don't know why I do this, but here I am. So I got this golf cart sanded down today. I didn't really film a whole lot of it because it's messy, boring, and didn't really see the need. But anyways, so it's right here. It's all sanded down good enough. So I did the usual. It looks like that now. So for the most part, it's sanded somewhat flat. Like you can't feel the texture to it anymore like you could earlier. Like this is untouched, but it gets covered, so you can really feel the texture to it here. But anywhere you're actually going to see and it's going to get some good paint, it's sanded down. So this isn't great, but good enough. So I got a bunch of like candy airbrush colors. Candy being transparent. You can see through the color no matter how much you put on to whatever's behind it. So you got to put something on with some flake, and then you're always going to see that flake through whatever color you decide to put on, and depending on how many coats of that color you put on, darker it'll be. It is 8 o'clock. I have zero plan. I'm going to grab a few rolls of tape, turn the heat on, and pull out the old airbrush and see what happens. On my motorcycle like 2 years ago, same thing. Zero plan. Bought a bunch of this exact paint. This is the last time I used it actually, so I bought the paint thinking, okay, like, I know, I'll figure something out. I'll go on Google and make a plan on what I want to do to my expensive motorcycle I just bought, and I couldn't come up with anything. So next thing you know, I went out one evening with a couple rolls of tape, and after that weekend was done, my motorcycle was done, and I love it. So I think that's sort of my style, just roll without a plan and see what happens. So I'll bring you back when I'm sort of on my way and you can kind of see what I got going on color-wise. But until then, I'll set this camera down and pick up the airbrush and see what happens. This golf cart's probably getting nervous. Doesn't know what's going to happen to it. So I just did this part today, the front whatever your bumper, whatever you want to call that, hood. It's just as it was yesterday once I was done. So this here does have that, like, listen, it sounds like sandpaper. Okay, so I got the back piece done here, and it's not perfect, and it's actually not what I wanted to do at all, but it kind of worked out. So a couple different colors: green, red, orange, purple, and blue. And well, here's the thing. I started out and it looked completely different. I had something in my head that I wanted to put on here and it just didn't work. So I put way too much time into a different paint scheme. Looks stupid. So I went to rinsing all that off, which wasn't that easy because see, this paint's like see-through. It picture like a dye more so than a paint. So when you paint that over something silver, it stains it. So when this came off, or I had some red on the other design, when it come off, it still left like a reddish tinge sort of thing. So even under this green, I had gold. So it's, you probably can't tell, but if you can tell, you know what I'm saying. Didn't film any of this, which mainly because I was annoyed, and this is my second time painting it, and I just want to get it done, so oops. But luckily I have this front piece yet to do, so I'm going to set the camera up and kind of show you how I go from this to this in about 45 minutes. So you can see how I sanded this. There's still like big holes, but that's for the
label goes, or the whatever emblem. So that's fine. And then here you can see it's not 100% smooth, but it's smooth enough for a golf cart for myself. And yeah, there's a few edges that aren't touched, but it doesn't matter. So this actually looks pretty good considering, like, if you remember, this whole corner was like, well, you can see all the repair jobs under here. Like, there's been some work done, right? So, but now when you look on this side, you never know. Like, it's, I don't know. I'm happy with it. I'll show you in a second, but I'll waste your time and explain it to you now anyway. So picture this silver, like this. And then you just use your imagination and make these pipes, wires, whatever you want to call them. And take the airbrush and just go over so they're darker. And then when you're done, you can either leave it silver or you can kind of dust in the rest of the color. I would have left it silver, but I'm glad I didn't. And the reason I didn't is because, like I said earlier, you could see through to the stain of the previous paint job, so I had no choice but to, you know, fill in the gaps. So, but it looks, I mean, I'm happy with it. Looks pretty cool. Like, when you're this close, you can kind of see mistakes, but from here, that's good for TV. So there's one. It's really not rocket science. You just have to sort of look at it and figure out what you want. So here, we'll go up. And then we'll go over. And then we'll go down. You really gotta push down the corners because what they'll do is they'll start to shrink and then they kind of square off like that, which is not what you want. But I don't care, so that'll stay. Now, kind of have to dust in all your in-between spaces. Alright, so I got a couple coats of clear on it here now. So that's what we're looking at. Did it out in the wind, and of course it blew over, and I don't know if you can see it, but there's a bunch of grass in it. But it's good enough. There you go. That's backyard quality. Now what you'd want to do if you cared, you'd let this harden and then you'd sand it, because you can, I don't know if you can see the texture in it, but there is one. So you'd want to let it harden, sand it, one more coat of clear, and then you'd have a finished product. Or you could polish it after and make it even better, but that's not the plan here. So it's got all the same colors, 5 colors. I don't know why I decided to do this, but here it is.